Today, the youth of DC are rising up for a better future, and the new roster for the Teen Titans is leading the way. So get ready for DC All Access. What's up, guys? I'm Whitney Moore, and it is time for DC Nation. Dan DiDio is giving us a rundown of this week's most important comics.
You know, as you're heading into summer, you're always setting up big storylines, and you're always setting up major events and things like that going on. So what you're seeing is a lot of the building blocks that we've been talking about for so long really come into fruition. You know, we have there's a Titans special coming out, which resets the Teen Titans team, which I'm really excited about. Adam Glass is just a great writer. He did a wonderful job for us on Suicide Squad New 52. So I'm happy to have him back doing another team book. He's introducing brand new characters, which makes it exciting. On the other side of the coin, though, we have the Flash War going on, which we're in the third or fourth part of that. We're leading up to big issue 50. I don't know why issue 50s are a big deal, but we make them that way.
It sounds important.
It does sound important.
50 is a big number.
And you know, and it's funny because I just had breakfast with Josh Williamson. We had a bunch of guys in last couple of days to do a writer's summit. And you know, part of these summits are not just to figure out big storylines and how they cross together, but just to make everybody aware of what's going on. And there's so much happening with the Flash family right now. And what's interesting about the Flash War is that it's really showing the difference between Barry and Wally, which is something we've always tried to do because, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, so the Flash fans, back off. But I always say that Wally only got interesting when he became more like Barry in the comics.
Wow, so you're a Barry fan.
Oh, I've always been a Barry fan. I think it's been pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm a Wally West kind of
girl. And you know what? And what's interesting is a lot of folks that are fans of Wally West is because they grew up with him, the same way they grew up with Dick Grayson.
Totally,
and, you know, and that's why they have that relationship. But when Wally was first the Flash, when he became the Flash after Crisis on Infinite Earths back in the '80s, he was a bit of an ass. He was, but he was very self-centered, self-motivated. There was a lot about him that was unlikable. And it was until they started to put the characteristics that was Barry that ultimately he became much more likable along the way. And it's funny because, you know, you went from a character that was very, very self-centered and then ultimately became very giving. And then in that way, he also built a family for himself. And again, it was more that transformation to what became Barry is when Wally became popular in my mind. So here we are at a moment where Wally versus Barry, and now we get a chance to explore the difference between the two characters.
I love that.
We have a lot of great story going on right now, and like I said, the Flash War stuff is taking place, and Flash War is actually going to bring us right into Heroes in Crisis, which should be interesting.
Right.
So we'll see some stuff happening there. But again, we have Flash happening, we have all the Superman material. Bendis has been really cooking right now. We've had a great response to the Man of Steel books, and we have more stuff coming out with him, and I see what his plans are. We have so many Superman fans. And he's been around for 80 years, and to come at it with a new set of eyes, with a fresh take.
The best set of eyes, honestly.
You know what?
It's got a great take.
It's funny, like I said, we just had a writer's summit, and it was weird. You know, you're sitting there, for me, I'm sitting there with Tom King, Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns, Brian Bendis, and four very, you know, right?
Yeah.
And
Titans.
and because of that, there's a real super energy taking place in the room that gets us all very excited. And a lot of guys, you know, like they all know each other, but to put them all in the room like this, especially somebody like a Jeff and a Scott and a Brian who have always been never really working all together, but here we are now in the same room working together in a great way. It's really fun. It's talking about what's happening in the Superman family with Brian, talking about what's happening with the Batman family with Tom King, what's happening in the Justice League family with Scott Snyder, and then also talking about how Doomsday Clock will have an effect on the DCU.
Yeah.
With everybody in the same room talking, it makes you feel like we're world building. And what's really great is that you have four very unique creators, four very unique directions, but really a real focus point of view on how to elevate the DCU and how to create that immersive, connective world again, which is something we're desperate for.
Yeah.
But back to the books of this week.
Perfect.
But like I said, so it's really great to see things like Man of Steel kicking off. It's great to see things like the Justice League book starting to take hold. Teen Titans is part of that Justice League story. One thing we're really building to right now is the Batman wedding.
Yes.
And it's been wonderful to watch the conversation and the excitement about it, about will they or won't they, and honestly, that book will keep you guessing until the final pages, which is great. We've seen the first cover. It's probably some of the best stuff that Tom King has ever written. It's lyrical. It's heartbreaking. It's exciting. And the best part is it's visually exciting because there's so many great artists in that book. But building to the preludes and everything else going on and we have the best one, which I shouldn't say the best one, but the most anticipated one, which is Harley Quinn versus Joker.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's funny that we're sitting here talking about the wedding of Batman and Catwoman, and yet here we are showing Harley Quinn and Joker, who have their own tumultuous relationship, and they're playing out their own relationship against the backdrop of Batman and Catwoman. I think it gives you a wonderful, wonderful sense of who these characters are, and just, you know, the differences in them as well.
People are so excited about this one. I've seen already so many cosplays of Catwoman's wedding dress, and people are just, the hype is real.
Yeah, it really is, and you know, I always get nervous whenever you see that level of hype because you do, because if you don't meet the fans' expectations, then they have less faith in you the next time you deliver a big story. So, you know, I always say you're only as good as your last big event, your last big story. So when you have an event like this that's got national attention, it just makes that spotlight that much hotter. But I have to say that every single person working on this project, with the Prelude books and all that, has really rose to the occasion. I mean, the Prelude books were a little bit of an add-on. You know, Tom was really set to do his story, but it was a very personal story, and we'll see that. And I like fighting. I like fighting. So, because we have such a tight Batman family and such a clearly defined group of characters, it was fun to create all these preludes so we could get a chance to see how this wedding affected the broad scope of the Batman family and the Batman Rogues Gallery. So that way we can focus on their marriage in their book, but have all the fun outside of it.
Yes, so much drama around weddings.
It goes without saying.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I cannot wait to get my hands on these.
I got them right over here if you want to borrow them. No.
Those are some essential titles to check out this week, and here's a full list of the new DC books hitting shelves today. Plenty more cool stuff going down in the world of DC, and here is the latest news. DC Collectibles announced 3 Comic-Con exclusive variants of Chris Huminga's Batman design for the DC Artist Alley line. There's a blue and gray version for fans of the classic Batman look, a Flashpoint edition for Thomas Wayne enthusiasts, and a matte black and gold design that is the new definition of luxury. You can check them out at the Entertainment Earth booth at SDCC next month. WB Records is adding another song to the Dark Knight's Metal soundtrack with the release of Fact Check. It's sung by Jason Alon Butler, the lead vocalist of the band The Fever 333. You can listen wherever you stream your music starting this Friday. Preacher launched into its 3rd season on Sunday, and it's just as irreverent and violent as you'd expect. This season promises plenty more bloodshed on the plantation where Jesse grew up, and Thrillist put it on its list of essential summer viewing. You can catch new episodes Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern on AMC, and if you want to revisit the comics, check out Absolute Preacher Volume 3. The Legion of Superheroes came to life on Supergirl this year, and you can revisit some of their greatest comic book adventures in Legion of Superheroes, The Silver Age Omnibus Volume 2. Put on your Legion ring and enjoy some classic 60s DC goodness starting today. In DC Vertigo news, rock legend Sting just announced that he's writing the foreword to John Constantine Hellblazer 30th Anniversary Celebration. You can check out Sting's tribute to the character and some of Constantine's best adventures on October 30th. And finally, Teen Titans Go to the Movies hits theaters in exactly 1 month, which is just enough time for you to enjoy the Teen Titans Go box set. Sentient video game console and pizza not included. That's the news for now, but we'll be right back after this message from the panel of the week. Wow! After the catastrophic events of No Justice, DC's teenage heroes are ditching the moral high ground and creating their own rules for fighting crime. We've got writer Adam Glass here to brief us on a new chapter for the Teen Titans.
So Teen Titans, I think, right now are fitting what's happening in our society with teenagers, as we're seeing today, are marching around the country basically saying, we're done with the adults. We're going to take our own lives in our own hands, and we're going to make our own rules. And this Teen Titans, led by Damian Wayne, is going to do exactly that. He is done listening to the rules that were set up by his dad and damn Boy Scouts so many years ago. And he comes out of No Justice definitely wanting to fight crime a little differently. And I think in the past, sidekicks and sort of juniors always want to grow up and be their dads and moms. This generation wants to be themselves. And Damian finally realizes, you know what, I don't need Dick's hand-me-downs of Teen Titans. I need my own team. And he goes out and he gets Wallace West in Flash 2. We got Red Arrow Emiko, who is very much like Robin's sister almost in a way. They have so many similar backgrounds, you know, raised by assassins, moms are bad people, so they're kindred souls. And then we have 3 new people on the team, starting with Lobo's daughter, right? She's Girl Rage, she's awesome, she's Girl Fight Club. Then we have Jin, who is, that's Arabic for genie. She might be 8,000 years old, but she was enslaved for most of her life, so she's still a 13-year-old girl. And then finally, on Roundhouse, but he's more of our Garth, jokey, funny, comic relief kind of guy. And in the book, we go right in, we open right into action, and as we're in the action and we're learning about our team, we will get little quick flashbacks to how the team came together, because they all share a similar philosophy on how to fight crime in this new modern time. And they also are moldable. So Damian can really sort of come in and mold the team to what he wants it to be, and finally have his generation of heroes.
Before we go, we have a full set of every single variant cover for next week's Batman number 50, and we are giving them all away to one of you. For your chance to win, visit dccomics.com/watchandwin and fill out the form with your information. It is so easy, you could probably train your dog to do it. But don't do that because, you know, technically your dog isn't eligible. Well, good luck and we'll see you next time.